If we was to fight right now on the streets, I'll break your fucking neck. And that's on my kids. And you know it, I know it, and the whole world know it. And I'm not talking about no fighting in the ring. If me and you was to fight outside, I will break your...
Recently, Tank Davis stirred controversy with a tweet aimed at Bud, escalating tensions between the two fighters. Known for his brash and often provocative social media presence, Davis took things to a new level by targeting Crawford's family in his post. His tweet was in response to Crawford's comments about Davis's fighting style, claims that Davis hadn't faced the same level of competition, and a remark suggesting that Tank was upset about not being invited to an event. However, the personal attack on Crawford's wife and 8 children crossed a line that many boxing fans found disrespectful. Fans and analysts quickly took to social media, criticizing Davis for dragging family into the feud. The tweet ignited outrage, especially considering the respect typically afforded to an opponent's family in the sport. Many supporters who once backed Davis began distancing themselves after the incident. In professional boxing, trash talk is common, but involving someone's family is generally seen as crossing a personal line. Davis's tweet didn't just anger Crawford's supporters, it sparked widespread disappointment among boxing fans, many of whom expressed concern about the direction of his career. The boxer, renowned for his knockout power and thrilling fights, now faces backlash for stepping over the line. Some fans defended Davis, suggesting he was simply playing mind games, a common strategy in boxing to generate hype before a potential fight. However, the overwhelming majority of reactions from fans, fighters, and analysts pointed to the tweet as a mistake. In response to the growing backlash, Davis remained defiant, posting more tweets to justify his words. But the damage was done, and the conversation quickly shifted from his knockout power to his controversial behavior outside the ring. However, it wasn't just Tank provoking the beast. Terence Crawford wasted no time responding. The reigning pound-for-pound king posted a video addressing the tweet, sending a clear message to Davis. "You know I would absolutely crush you if we ever had a street fight."
Speaking about you, is that ever a possible fight?
Yeah, if he want to dare to be great, he can be like all the other fighters that moving up 2 weight classes and, you know, daring to be great.
You would fight him,
man. Tell him to come up there.
He got to come to win 54.
He said I got a glass chin, so tell him to come and touch it.
Ooh. Wow, man. Gervonta said you got a glass.
Crawford's response was calm yet firm. He didn't resort to the same level of personal attacks as Davis, but instead focused on his readiness to fight, whether in the boxing ring or outside of it. His message was clear. He isn't afraid of Davis and is willing to face him in any setting if necessary. This measured response only strengthened Crawford's reputation as a composed and professional fighter.
They just said we in a gunfight, right?
Yeah.
And I got a metal shield, and the opposite person got a glass shield.
Okay, champ.
Who gonna come out on top? I don't care about how much he run around. Once them hands get on him, it's gonna slow him down. And once
definitely if he touch him, he definitely if he touch him clean.
This wasn't the first time Davis and Crawford had exchanged words. The two fighters have been at odds for years, publicly calling each other out on multiple occasions. However, up until this point, their rivalry had largely remained professional. Davis has consistently criticized Crawford's choice of opponents and questioned his marketability, while Crawford has expressed frustration with Davis's management and the level of competition he has faced. In interviews, Davis has often claimed that Crawford's career lacks excitement, arguing that he himself is the more entertaining fighter. He has also suggested that Crawford has avoided matchups with top-tier opponents in their respective weight classes. Meanwhile, Crawford has fired back, questioning Davis's skills and claiming that he is overhyped, having never faced the same level of competition Crawford has throughout his career. While the two have exchanged verbal jabs in the past, Davis's recent tweet crossed a line that many felt went beyond typical rivalry. The personal attack on Crawford's family added a new layer of animosity, pushing their feud into the spotlight of the boxing world. Terence Crawford and Gervonta "Tank" Davis are two of boxing's biggest stars and one of the most controversial. Debates in the sport today revolves around who has made more money in their careers. Their feud has escalated across social media platforms like X, where both fighters have taken shots at each other, fueling heated discussions among fans, analysts, and even fellow boxers. The root of the debate isn't just about who is the better fighter, it's about who has earned more, who draws the bigger crowd, and who holds the edge in terms of financial success.
For you, Tank, at 147, how does a fight with you and Terence Crawford look?
Damn. 147?
147.
Shit, I tap that chin, you know he going to sleep.
I already know. I already know he
ain't
is.
got no chin.
I already know he is.
He said no chin.
The true financial figures in boxing are known only to a select few: network executives, promoters, and managers, who rarely, if ever, disclose the complete financial picture. The purse totals released to the public represent just one part of a fighter's earnings. Additional income often comes from pay-per-view revenue shares, sponsorships, and performance bonuses, all of which are difficult to quantify unless explicitly disclosed. Despite these challenges, several key facts and expert opinions provide some insight into how Terence Crawford and Gervonta Davis's earnings compare. In recent years, Crawford has solidified his position as one of the highest-paid fighters in the sport, largely due to two landmark bouts: his July 2023 victory over Errol Spence Jr. and his August 2020.
How you feel about that fight? Is it even possible at a catch weight?
Nah, ain't no catch weight. You come up to 47.
You're not even entertaining a catch weight.
No, I'm not.
He's a champ though too, undefeated.
And what champ? Come on, man, tell me what belt. You know boxing. You forgot Devin Haney is undisputed. Devin Haney got all the belts. He the champ. Nobody else the champ. I'm gonna come up here where the big boys at.
All right,
I'll welcome him.
Crawford not only secured a dominant victory, but also walked away with a significant share of the revenue. Reports indicate that this fight alone propelled him into a new financial bracket. His bout against Madiev, where he reportedly earned a guaranteed $10 million, further solidified his status as one of boxing's top earners. Meanwhile, Gervonta Davis has been a consistent pay-per-view attraction, with his April 2023 showdown against Ryan Garcia standing out as a defining moment in his career. The fight was a blockbuster event, drawing massive attention and showcasing Davis's ability to deliver thrilling performances in high-stakes situations. His stunning TKO victory over Garcia cemented his reputation as one of boxing's most marketable stars. While Davis has undeniably been a major draw,
Great. It was no different from 147, to be honest. Israel just was a strong opponent, you know, and we knew that coming.
social media presence plays a crucial role in this discussion. Davis boasts a massive 7.5 million followers on Instagram and nearly 800,000 on X. In contrast, Crawford, despite being a more established name in boxing, has a much smaller online footprint, with 1.8 million Instagram followers and $468,000 on X. These numbers matter because, in today's digital age, a fighter's marketability is heavily influenced by their social media reach. Sponsorship deals, brand partnerships, and other income streams are often tied to online visibility, giving Davis a significant edge in this area. However, social media clout alone
I got a glass chin. Tell him to come and touch it.
At 147?
At 147. I'll make 147 for him.
Crawford's career longevity and consistency at the championship level are significant advantages. Turning professional in 2008, he has been a world champion since 2014, giving him over a decade of earnings at the sport's highest level. Championship fights, especially as the main event, typically bring larger payouts, and Crawford's extensive resume of title bouts underscores his earning potential. Davis, who turned pro in 2013 and won his first world title in 2017, has achieved remarkable success in a shorter period. However, he lacks the same length of championship-level experience as Crawford.
How good is Terence Crawford?
Terence Crawford is good, but he's not what people make him seem. He's not pound for pound.
Involvement of His Excellency Turki Alalshik in boxing has been a game changer, particularly for Crawford. Alalshik's model of offering fighters guaranteed paydays far beyond what traditional promoters can provide has reshaped the financial dynamics of the sport. Crawford's $10 million guarantee for the Matiev fight is just the beginning, as reports suggest that a potential bout with Canelo Alvarez could set new records for fighter earnings. Alalshik's ability to bring unprecedented financial backing to the table gives Crawford...
The thing I can say about Tank is he's smart. He can box.
Yes.
And he explosive. You know what I mean? But I'm saying skill-wise and in the mind, I don't think neither one of them can outthink.
For Davis, the financial landscape looks different. While his drawing power is undeniable, the quality of his upcoming opponents could impact his ability to command massive paydays. His rumored March fight against Lamont Roach Jr., while legitimate in terms of competition, lacks the marquee value needed to drive significant pay-per-view sales. Without a high-profile opponent to help sell the event, Davis may struggle to match the earnings Crawford has secured through blockbuster matchups. To maintain his financial momentum, Davis needs to secure fights against bigger names, such as Vasily
Legal. Like if you hear somebody like Tank say 147, I knock Bud out.
Well, he just talking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he got the confidence in himself that he believe that he can do that because he's been knocking all these fighters out that he's been in the ring with. You know, so no knock to Tank, but there's definitely levels.
Debate over who has made more money also highlights a deeper philosophical divide in boxing. Crawford's career has been built on taking on the toughest challenges, often stepping into hostile territory to prove himself against the best. This approach has earned him widespread respect from both peers and fans, as well as lucrative opportunities to showcase his skills on the biggest stages. Davis, on the other hand, has been criticized for following a more controlled career path, prioritizing commercial appeal over competitive risk. While this strategy has made him a household name, some argue that it has limited his ability to maximize his earnings over the long term. Leonard Ellerby's claim that Davis now makes 8 figures per fight.
Not really address, but kind of speak on the whole Tank Crawford thing, because when Crawford said he'd be willing to wait at 47 for Tank, he did say after the interview, immediately after the interview, I was just playing around. Like, do you want people to put that shit to bed?
Yeah, he was just playing around. You know what I'm saying? Tank does that, you know.
Early in his career, Davis didn't command the same financial attention, and his rise to the top has been relatively recent. Crawford, by contrast, has been securing substantial paydays for years, thanks to his consistency and willingness to fight anyone, anywhere. This difference in career trajectories further complicates the question of who has made more money. Another key factor is the shift in the pay-per-view (PPV) model. Traditionally, fighters relied heavily on PPV sales to maximize their earnings. However, Turki Alalshik's guaranteed payouts have disrupted this system. Crawford's partnership with Alalshik has allowed him to bypass the uncertainties of PPV revenue, while Davis remains more dependent on the traditional system. This shift could have long-term implications for how both fighters approach their careers and financial negotiations. Critics of Davis argue that while his social media fame and commercial appeal are undeniable, they may not translate into sustained financial success unless he takes on more significant challenges in the ring. Meanwhile, Crawford's fans point to his willingness to fight the best as proof of both his legacy and earning power. The contrasting approaches of these two fighters reflect broader tensions within boxing, where traditional values of competition and merit clash with the modern emphasis on marketability and entertainment. Ultimately, the question of who has made more money, Crawford or Davis, may never have a definitive answer. The lack of transparency in boxing finances means much of the debate relies on speculation and fragmented reports. However, what is clear is that both fighters have taken different paths to success, each with its own merits and drawbacks. Crawford's recent financial windfall and alignment with Al-Sheikh position him as the frontrunner in the earnings race. However, Davis's popularity and marketability ensure that he remains a formidable force.
An issue there, or would that just be a matter of you waiting for him to be ready for you?
Yeah, no, Tank is at a lower weight class than me. He's at 135. I'm at 147. That's 2 weight classes apart.
So he would have to come up.
Yeah, because I wouldn't never.
You can't get that low.
So that's not gonna happen. Because I saw people talking about it. You don't think that'll ever happen?
No, I wouldn't say that it happened.
Despite the apparent weight disparity and stylistic differences, some experts believe a fight between Crawford and Davis would be anything but straightforward. One such expert is legendary multi-division champion Roy Jones Jr., who shared his thoughts in an interview with Real Life Productions. Jones described a hypothetical matchup between the two as a good damn fight, suggesting that it could be competitive if fought at a catchweight just below the welterweight limit. He emphasized the unique attributes of both fighters, particularly Davis's explosiveness as a potential game changer. "I don't see anybody around that's going to beat Bud unless it's somebody way bigger than him," Jones said, referring to Crawford by his nickname. But don't sleep on the fact that if he and Tank fought at about 145, that's a good damn fight, you understand me? Because they both have very high IQs and Tank is very explosive. That's the one thing that Tank got that Errol didn't have. In boxing, an explosive fighter can go a lot of places. I was only able to cover the weights that I covered because I was so explosive. Explosiveness keeps people in check. Jones's comments highlight the key contrast between the two fighters. Crawford is a master technician, known for his adaptability, ring IQ, and ability to outthink and outmaneuver opponents. His switch-hitting style and razor-sharp accuracy have allowed him to dominate elite competition across multiple weight classes. Davis, on the other hand, is celebrated for his raw power, speed, and explosiveness, making him one of the most feared punchers in boxing. While Crawford relies on calculated precision to systematically break down his opponents, Davis has the ability to end fights instantly with a single punch.
So what are we talking about here? Gervonta Tank Davis, which would be the A side in this situation, would never move up to 147 pounds and fight Terence Bud Crawford.
Davis's size disadvantage would make it challenging for him to close the distance against a skilled and disciplined fighter like Crawford. However, his explosiveness and ability to land fight-altering punches make him a dangerous opponent for anyone, regardless of size. While fans and analysts can speculate endlessly about how a fight between these two would play out, the reality is that it's highly unlikely to ever happen. Crawford is focused on solidifying his legacy, having already cleared out the welterweight division and become the undisputed champion at 147 lbs. Now he is eyeing an even greater challenge, a potential fight against super middleweight champion Saul Canelo Alvarez, which would require him to jump 14 lbs to 168, an unprecedented move that showcases his ambition. On the other hand, Davis is on a different path. He is scheduled to fight Lamont Roach Jr. in March, a fight seen by many as a tune-up. Interestingly, he has hinted at retiring by the end of the year, leaving fans questioning whether he will step away from the sport at the peak of his career. If true, it would mark the end of an era for one of boxing's most exciting and polarizing figures. Despite their differing career trajectories, a hypothetical fight between Crawford and Davis continues to captivate boxing fans. While Crawford's size, skill, and experience would likely give him the edge, Davis's explosiveness and unpredictability ensure that no outcome could be considered a foregone conclusion. Though this matchup remains unlikely, the contrast in their styles, personalities, and career choices fuels the ongoing debate about how such a fight would.
Tank cannot fuck with Terence Crawford at all. Y'all keep pushing for that. He will destroy